Hello, Malazan fans and non-Malazan fans alike. Welcome to my video trying to describe what Malazan Book of the Fallen is in the briefest way in a something close to a synopsis. If you follow BookTube at all, you probably are aware that Mike over at Mike's Book Reviews is going through Malazan next year, and there are, he says, literally hundreds of people that are getting onto this and using his read-along to sort of finally say, hey, I'm going to try and tackle this series. We also have Daniel Green just finally finished his read-through of Malazan. I finished Malazan this year. Iskar Jarek and I both started our channels this year. So it seems like there's a lot of Malazan interest all of a sudden. And in that spirit, Mike just posted a video that I'll post in the comments below about getting ready basically for this readathon, and you'll find information on how to follow along and read with it. I think it would be great if you did. And in this video, as he's getting ready for it, he mentioned that there's not a lot of synopses like that tells what this story is about. It's very hard to talk about what Malazan is actually about. Then my pal Iskar Jarek put a video on his channel where he took this question on, like, what is this actually about, and sort of talked about some of the various aspects of the series as a whole. And at the end of that video, Iskar challenged a couple of us booktubers who also love Malazan to do the same thing. So this is my response to that challenge, and to try to give people who are just jumping in to Malazan a somewhat of a framework to understand it. But first, I want to say a couple things by way of introduction, and as I mentioned, framework, we should talk about what kind of style Malazan is written in. Now, I have a very long video that obviously I think is very important, I would recommend to you, and it's spoiler-free, don't worry, about postmodernism and Malazan Book of the Fallen, because Malazan is at its core, a postmodern critique of the fantasy genre, and putting forth some really interesting, unique ideas that you as a fantasy author have not read before. Particularly, it's not just postmodern, but it's also post-structural. That Erikson is choosing to write the series is purposefully to eschew like structure, or how we normally view structure or stories or experience them. In this sort of Marvel age, or in the fantasy community like Sanderson age, we've been taught as readers to expect that everything we're told contributes to an overall plot that sort of ends in a particular way and ties everything together. There's nothing wrong with that, but Erikson very particularly does not do that. And so that's why I think it's so hard to give a synopsis, because when you do that, you are telling the person, okay, so this is what this is about, like this is the story, everything pertains to this that I'm telling you. And I just want to let you know right now that the Book of the Fallen is not like that. There will be some storylines and some characters that are just for their own sake, as far as like the experience that you're going to get out of them, or it's about a particular theme that's really important to what is happening. I always recommend people, when they go into Book of the Fallen, to really just enjoy where you are. Don't try to like figure out where all the pieces go or get really bogged down in details, because that'll really slow you down and lose momentum, and momentum is really key in Malazan. So just push forward if you're confused, or if you feel like something didn't go anywhere, just keep going, trust Erikson. Not that everything's going to be tied up, but that it is going to be a satisfying story. I also wanted to say, a lot of times people talk about Malazan being a history of a certain region. I don't love that description because A, I think a lot of people have like boring memories of history, and I don't want to imply that at all. But also B, that gives the idea that it's an impersonal story, where I actually find Malazan to be incredibly personal, and the characters and the perspectives that you're in are so disciplined as far as like staying in those characters' perspectives, that it just draws you into every single area of the world and what is happening, and the conflicts, and makes you feel a lot of emotions. So I think sometimes people think historical meaning like not emotional, or you're not invested in the story, and that's definitely not the case. What am I getting all this for? I'm just saying that Malazan Book of the Fallen at its core focuses on experience. That's a big postmodern thing. the experience of individuals, the experience of characters where they are, why they are feeling that way, what they are feeling, those sort of questions and reactions and experiences. Like, that's the core of what Malazan Book of the Fallen is. And Erikson has said many times, at core, it is a call for compassion. So, all that to say is I did write up a summary, a synopsis that is spoiler-free, that I think hopefully will provide some structure, but also prepare the reader for the unique experience that Malazan is. Without further ado, let's get on it. I'm just going to read it to you because I don't want to mess up and I didn't memorize it. The Malazan Book of the Fallen is a high, epic fantasy like no other. Centered on the core question of what to do in the face of overwhelming suffering and evil, the Book of the Fallen follows the experiences of characters across 3 different continents. Upon one, the ever-expanding Malazan Empire seeks to engorge itself upon the free cities of Genabakis. Upon another, a long-prophesied rebellion powered by a dark religion rises against the Malazan Empire. And upon yet a third continent, this one far beyond the scope of the Malazan Empire, an ancient race will rise up in defiance of a kingdom defined by financial and magical brutality. The widespread conflicts and events of the series are sometimes related and sometimes unique, and yet all are united under one larger idea: without compassion, there can be no victory. That's what I think Malazan Book of the Fallen is, and I'm so excited for you out there who are just going to experience it for the first time. Let me know in the comments how you think I did in that synopsis. And again, if you're new to the series and just about to jump in, I would really recommend that you watch my postmodernism and Malazan video to sort of give you some structure for what to expect there. I did a really fun sort of roundtable discussion with 3 other booktubers about what Malazan is like and to answer some questions, and we did that non-spoilery. We called it the Malazan Bunch. I'll put that in the description below. And I also want to recommend the podcast 10 Very Big Books. It's just like reading it with a group of friends, and some of them don't like it, some of them do, and it's really important, especially in a series like this, to do it with other people. And so whether it's on Mike's BookTube channel or you want to just do it here with me, always important to read with community. I think that's the best kind of experience you can have. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm so pumped more and more people are finding this series and talking about it. Please subscribe here for a lot of Malazan content. I'm very careful with spoilers, but still having some fun videos to discuss it with. So, as always, first in, last out.